A couple of Mish-Mashes ago, you'll recall that Greg Van Beek sent me a new dial glass and a scutcheon or frame for my 630B, my 37 630B. And I mentioned that David Bohanan had sent me one previously, but it was too large. It wouldn't fit, the back was too big to go through the hole in the cabinet. And I said that I still had it. On the way to work today, I will be stopping by the post office and mailing out this package. And the reason I'm mailing this package out is because subsequent to the Mish-Mash video, I was contacted by our good subscriber, Tom MGB. Now, I've had Tom MGB mentioned on several of my Mish-Mash videos. He sends me CDs once in a while of really cool music. Last time it was Oldies But Goodies. God, what a great CD. Anyway, he said, John, you know, if you don't have a use for that large dial glass and the scutcheon that David Bohanan sent you, I'd like to buy it from you. I have a Philco 116 that has, you know, a busted glass, and he said I'd like to buy it, you know, if you don't have a use for it, and for my radio. But he said if you don't want to do it, I understand that. Well, you know, I'm not going to sell Tom that glass and a scutcheon. I'm going to give it to him for free, because I'll tell you why. It never was mine to begin with. It was sent to me by David Bohanan out in Tennessee, our good subscriber. And, you know, interesting thing, David and I have a lot of radios that are identical, to include a floor model Silvertone, which I thought was really neat, that we each have the same exact Silvertone radio. I thought I had the only one in existence. Anyway, old David, he's the one responsible for me now sending this dial glass and the scutcheon or frame to Tom MGB for his radio. I'm just a go-between guy here, okay? Not going to cost Tom a penny, because David never charged me a penny. You know, he's the man responsible. So we all know what that means. Shout out for David Bohanan. Just got home. It's about 10:30 at night, and there's 6:50 a.m. Nashville on the Philco we just completed, the 37 2670. Well, I'll tell you, it's got great sound, great sound.
The bargain store right here at the Legend, 650 AM WSM on Opry Country Classic Thursday. We got some more of that coming up between now and midnight. Right now, a classic from Dave Dudley, 6 Days on the Road. Well, I pulled out of Pittsburgh, rolling down that eastern seaboard.
Yeah, I did. Boy, I like this song. Can't beat that Nashville show. You cannot beat 6:50 a.m. at night. I swear, you just can't. Potatoes are still doing pretty good, even though they're beginning to fade out a little bit. Little by little, they're beginning to die off. But at the same time, we've got brand new growth coming. It's really weird, huh? New growth and dying off growth. Well, it'll be about maybe another month, and I think I can finally dig those potatoes out of there. I'm kind of expecting maybe 2,000 pounds of potatoes out of each barrel.
Yeah, one on the sides.
There you go.
Tomorrow is Ethan's birthday, and Ethan turns how old, Ethan?
17.
17. Oh, man. I'll tell you, that's his mother right there. You're getting old, girl. You're getting very old. And there's his dad. He's getting old, too.
Y'all ready?
Yeah, here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ethan. Happy birthday to you. And many more. And little John is here to help celebrate.
Yeah.
I'm so pulling a birthday present.
Good job, good job.
No,
and his brother, and great grandma, and grandma.
No, you won't.
Yeah, I will.
No, you
Good
won't.
time, good time. Now to dig in. That's an ice cream cake, by the way. I like ice cream cakes.
That was your
My
phone.
daughter's trying to tell me the head of her household is her. And I know better, because when Scott wants to cut loose on like a volcano, she shudders and shakes.
Yeah.
He probably changed because
No,
He
no.
sure don't say anything when he's sitting in here, because us
Yeah.
three women
Yeah,
outsmart
he could whip. he could whip the discipline on you in about 2 seconds.
Yeah,
4
yeah.
years.
You see that thing moving down in there? Look at that. That's a potato worm. He tried to get into my potatoes again this year. I caught him, and now he's giving up the ghost. Yeah, I'm gonna throw him out in the grass here in a minute. But that's what happened last year. It ain't gonna happen again. Well, as you can see, my master cylinder right there is missing. I was heading into a traffic circle in town the other day, and I hit my brakes, and when this young kid came whizzing around counterclockwise from the left, he said, "I'm not going to let that geezer into this traffic circle." And he was right, he didn't. I hit the brakes, and my pedal went, just started creeping right on down to the floor. Luckily, it didn't go down, instantly. It sort of went on down slowly, enough to slow me down and keep from hitting that joker. The traffic circle is located right in front of a college, so there's plenty of kids that go whizzing around that traffic circle. You always have to be, on the alert there. Anyway, I went to O'Reilly's and they sold me, I took my old one in, they sold me this rebuilt. I just installed it. It does not work. No fluid comes out of the front plunger at all. None right here out of this hole where my thumb is. And very little comes out of the rear. I couldn't believe it. So anyway, I had to take it all back off. I couldn't bleed the brakes. There's just no fluid coming through. Anyway, they ordered me a second one, so it'll be in tonight. I'm having to install this thing after work when I come home at night. I'm out here with the mosquitoes. And it's just, I remember when I was younger, I used to work on cars in the carport late at night all the time because I had to get to work the next day. And I thought those days were over. Well, they're not over. Although I don't need this truck to get to work. I can just take wifey's van, or she can drop me off, which is what she's doing now. But that gets old for her. I'll let you know how that goes. Here's something interesting. All these plants that had flowers that were just covered with them are all gone. With the exception of this one little flower down in here. Look at here. Just hanging on to the bitter end. Ain't that something? She's not going to give it up. One little flower. Well, another week has gone by and still no action from the turtle eggs. They're still down in there. My daughter said she stuck her finger down in there yesterday and the shells are still soft. So, I don't know what's going on. We're just going to keep checking. It's been about a month now. They're supposed to hatch by now, I think, or at least show some sign of hatching. We'll see. And we also have the same situation with our azalea plant. All the flowers are gone, with the exception of this one little bloom. Isn't that something? In response to my last Mish-Mash video, where I asked everybody, I said, hey, look, I'm tired of being the only one doing the cooking around here. How about some of you folks pitching in and doing your part here? Let's see what you've got to offer, I'm a junk collector. He came up with this video titled, Jo-ern-one wanted me to cook something. Now, he called me Jo-ern-one. No, that's not it, Don. That's not it. It's Jo-ern-one. Okay, he wanted me to cook something. So, almost all the way through his video, he finally gets around to putting some sausage in the frying pan. However, I'm glad he did. He did some cooking. That was kind of neat. But over here at 11:56 or approximately, let me look at that. Let me expand that. He's now outside, and he's cooking on what's called a Blackstone griddle. It's a portable Blackstone griddle with 4 burners. He's cooking bacon and toast, and he'll be cooking eggs and looks like hash browns. I'll tell you what caught my eye here was not what he was cooking, but what he was cooking it on. That I asked him a couple of questions about it, and I decided to do a little research on this Blackstone. They have a 2-burner job and a 4-burner job. The 2-burner, they said, really sucks because you got, it's just got like 2 hot spots on in the grill. You got to keep your food around those 2 hot spots. However, this 4-burner one, it has welded tubes underneath, and it enables the heat to transverse the entire length of the grill. This, by the way, this top, from what I've learned from research and looking at YouTube videos and just doing an awful lot of looking, because I'll tell you, this thing really did catch my eye and my attention. This thing weighs 55 pounds. It's just like one in Waffle House, big, thick old grill. I just thought you'd all like to see that with old, I'm a junk collector. He owns one.
I like to go outside.
Yeah. That looks great, doesn't it?
Eggs, hash browns, toast, bacon.
Yeah. Yeah. Does look good. These are the trees that run on one side of my property in our backyard. And this is the old wagon road that used to be here. It would come down, it went all the way, it just kept on going. All the way from a highway that's about, maybe almost a mile in that direction there. And over the years, I guess somebody either planted those or they came up by themselves and people just trimmed them. They're awfully straight to be randomly growing like that, but you never know. Anyway, one of the problems we've had here over the last couple of years is the roots are beginning to get so high on these trees that we can't even mow. As you can see, they're very high. This one here is really sticking up out of the ground. It's just, and the mower, of course, can't mow across these. We got one over here that's really big, really tall, and the dirt is washed away. And you can see, let me put my hand on that, you can really see how big this sucker is. Look at that. Anyway, old Ethan and I got out here the other day, and we decided that, there were some that were growing way out there. You can see the brown spots. And we went ahead and started hacking and cutting and whacked off some of those because it was getting to the point where we couldn't mow this area at all without going back and forth and back. Then have to go back and weed eat around each of the roots. I didn't like that, so I said, Ethan, let's go to work. So we did. And of course, somebody said, well, one of these trees or 2 of these trees might die as a result of what you're doing. I said, well, that's okay, because they're too close together anyway, preventing each other from really spreading out. I should probably cut every other tree all the way down. Anyway, I'll show you some of the roots we took up. There they are. Oh, Ethan, he swung the axe and I worked the shovel, and we were able to get all those roots out of there that had grown above the surface. These are pretty big sized roots too. It wasn't easy. It was not easy, but we were able to get them out. And as you can see how close these trees are together right here. I cut one out a couple of years ago, but really we need to whack out this one here too and give plenty of space for these trees to spread out. By the way, on the old wagon road, the roots had all grown out here too, so we were really having a problem mowing this also. They're all gone. Everything's been cleared out here, and now we've got this part where we can mow back and forth with no problem at all. It seemed by now those turtle eggs should have had some kind of movement down there, maybe a cracked shell, something, anything, but nothing's happening, and it's been about a month. So I went back to the computer and I looked up, how long does it take for these things to hatch? Ethan had originally, our grandson had originally told me that it takes about a month. Well, he was a little off on that, because according to what I read, a box turtle egg takes about 3 months. And sometimes the turtles stay in the eggs all winter long. So, we may be in for a long haul here. Oh, wifey's making me go downtown and buy some stuff. She's not feeling too good today. She went to the doctor and got a shot in the butt, so she's not doing so hot. So she gave me a little list to go down and pick up a few things. A man's work is never done. Well, the old master cylinder's back in. Oh, what a time this thing gave me. I don't know what the problem was. I think the front plunger was locked in there somehow, had jammed up in there, had frozen in there. One time I remember buying a master cylinder and it didn't work. I took it apart because I just couldn't take it back. I needed the car right away. I couldn't take it back to the auto parts store. Had no way of getting there. I took it apart and the plunger had been put in backward when it was rebuilt. I was kind of hoping it didn't happen here also. Anyway, this one was stuck. This one worked pretty good. Finally, after a third bench, what they call a bench bleed, I bench bled it, and finally she kicked loose. So we're good to go now. All right, we're finally back. You know, wifey's always telling me, go downtown and get me this and get me that, buy me this, buy me that. Drives me bats, you know. I'm supposed to be the king of the house, you know. So I picked her up some stuff and... Huh.